Hello, hello, hello. So happy to have you with us. So I am going to go ahead and play a pre-recorded um, review. And this is going to be part 2 of the weeks 10 and on. So I'll come back on after we're done. Hello, hello, hello. So happy to have you with us. So happy to be here. And I wanted to come back on because I know I was supposed to wrap up the Bachelorette, and I'm still talking about it. I'm still, metabolizing. Actually, what I moved on to is Bachelor in Paradise. We'll talk about that, but that's not this video. Thanks so much for being there, listening, commenting, all that good stuff. So we left off with week 10. I wanted to go through the rest of the weeks and really talk about the rest of the episodes and how that really panned out. So we left off in week 10 where Eric and Gabby, they did hash out all of the things that were said to Gabby by Eric and how it made her feel and all of that, this, that, and the other. And it was great because they were able to kind of come to an understanding about how, they both felt. Then Jason and Gabby had a date. So Jason feels he should tell her how he feels, that he's not at the point of engagement. They plan a tennis, match, which I believe Jason played when he was in university, and they had the most fun. He feels at home since he played in college. They go to the pool after. Meanwhile, Eric still feels his insecurity, which drove him to say what he said to Gabby on the bridge, which actually may have pushed her away. Gabby feels so sure about Jason, and they head into dinner, and she feels he is all she ever wanted. However, Jason feels they are headed in the right direction, but he wants her to know a few things, exactly where he stands, and that is that he's not ready for engagement. He tells her, look, I'm just not ready, and they just still decide to have an overnight. It doesn't go well, and Gabby leaves feeling unloved and led on, and says goodbye to him the next day. I don't think it was a good idea for her to have an overnight date. Look, she can do what she wants. She's what people say, a grown woman. But at the end of the day, I feel like she should keep her moments to her intimacy to herself and reserve for a man who's going to validate her and value her and give her what she needs. And that is just not Jason. So Rachel, moving on to Rachel, she has a date with Zach. Avon is the one she wants to choose. This is me saying this. Avon's the one she wants to choose but can't. Tino is the one she desires and chooses, and Zach is the one she should choose but doesn't. And we all know what happens in the end, but this is how I was feeling week 10. And Zach is the one she should choose, but she doesn't. For some reason, she wants to choose Avon, but can't. We'll see how that pans out post everything that has happened on the season. And you know what? It seems like I was totally right. If you saw the ending, this is going to be a spoiler, so fast forward. Mostly everybody has seen it. She doesn't choose Zach in the end. She wanted to choose Avon, but didn't. But then in the end, at the final rose, they started talking. And Tino's the one she desires and she does choose. And I was totally right. This is exactly how I was feeling when I was watching week 10. And this is exactly what actually winds up happening. So that's why I know you all love listening to my channel, because I'm pretty accurate when it comes to choosing these things. So moving on, they go, Avon and Rachel, they go for a card reader, and who says Rachel is undecided and she needs her past to stay there. They seem to have a great time. But then it took a turn for the worse when Rachel started asking Zach if he was ready because of his age and really, really pressing him on the subject. It just seemed too forced. I really didn't understand. No one knows what happened behind the scenes, but it came out later that it made Zach feel really uncomfortable. And to me, why is she pushing the subject matter? Like, I really just didn't understand why she was pushing that. There's some guys at that age who really just know what they want. Unfortunately, sometimes they don't date older because I feel like if they do, maybe they should get with a woman who's older who can still give him, family and everything like that. But to me, why not? Because those women usually know what they want as well. And sometimes when it's the other way around, sometimes they'll choose a woman who's younger, who acts like they know what they want, but really is not ready to settle down yet. So I don't know why she was pushing him so much. But anyway, he really didn't like that. He felt it was the most inauthentic conversations he's had with her, and it made his feelings take a completely 180. Basically, he just turned off. He was just turned off. So he went crying to Jesse, who said he should tell Rachel how he felt. So he decided to tell her at the rose ceremony. He pulled her aside and at the rose ceremony, the men are so nervous and, some are confident for their own reasons. But Jesse tells Rachel she's the only one there and that it's all about her. So Zach, moving forward, Zach on episode 11, Zach pulls Rachel aside and decides to leave. They meet, he decides to leave because of what I said already. They meet at the live taping, apologetic about how things went. He does wind up becoming the next Bachelor. Eric met with Gabby's family. Avon and Tito move in to meet her family. Her dad, Big Tony, meet them both first. And Avon, whom was talked up by Rachel, but had revealed meeting with her friends, whom after, a set of hard questions, it was revealed that he just wasn't ready for engagement, but was ready with her, but just wasn't ready for engagement at that point. I know it sounded like a tongue twister, but I believe I understood what he was saying. So he wanted to get there, but after the taping. So this was news to Rachel because it wasn't cool. Like, he probably should have kept his feelings to himself and not said anything, because I think what made it hurt was the fact that he, Avon, told her, Rachel, after he spoke with her friends. And that was really something that she should have heard first from him, but she didn't. So that was something that was really upsetting for her, and she struggled with. And she said, look, she really wants to get engaged at the end of this. So she was really disappointed. They were going back and forth, and it almost seemed like at one point Rachel was like yelling at what's his face, and he had to kind of tell her, like, look, don't, and if you didn't see that, and I'm just, making things up, then fine. But it did seem like she was kind of like getting upset about it, and he was getting emotional because she was upset and kind of like. And then I'm sorry. I think she said, why are you getting upset? And he's like, I'm not, I'm just passionate. That's what happened. Sorry. So, I mean, my thing is, let me see how I would say. I would think she would understand that, because she did disclose how her family kind of just yells at each other when they're upset, and that's how they communicate. So I thought that maybe she would understand that, but maybe she's trying to change those patterns. But anyway, the next day she did confront Avon, and he goes home. So then it was only Tino and Rachel for Tino for Rachel, and there was only Eric for Gabby, because after Jason told her what he said, that was that for him anyway. So, and that was week 11. But when that happened with Jason, that was week 10. So, anywho, so then episode 12, this is where everything kind of comes to a head. Rachel tells Tino he's the only one there, and Gabby talks to Eric, who does not say that he's ready to propose. So, Tino proposes, and then Rachel reveals to Jesse that Tino and her have had some difficulties, during the live tapings, or actually it wasn't a live, it was still taped. And then 3 weeks after the airing, Tino revealed he cheated on her via a lip lock, which had happened with someone that he somehow knew. He was in the past. Rachel revealed he kind of alluded to it and that sort of thing. Then he was kind of peddling around the issue, didn't really take responsibility, and peddle around telling Rachel about it. They did discuss this, and there was some discrepancies. Rachel said they were done and gave the ring back. Then on stage during a live discussion, he said a little too much, which then backfired with more discrepancies. Like, there was a point in time, if you notice, he was making an apology. She pretty much accepted, and then there was a silence. Instead of him just being quiet and letting her respond, he, I guess, felt the need to continue to talk, which then created him falling over himself, and that just didn't help. So then we learned that Avon, quote, demanded, unquote, to be there, and then whisked Rachel away, which was kind of awkward because Tino was standing right there. Gabby and Eric also did get engaged. Gabby also got engaged, I should say. There seemed to be more successful engagement in the end because they were still engaged. There were some things that did come up that we learned about from a text from someone who knew him before the Bachelorette. He did tell Gabby of it before it came to light, but they prevailed through. So, as you know, Zach is the new Bachelor, and Brianna got the first impression rose. She had a little Kodak moment with him, taking a little Polaroid and giving it as something to remember her by. So that was really sweet. Overall, I thought this season of The Bachelorette was just crazy. I basically watched it pretty much in like one sitting, it seemed. I watched it a couple of times, back-to-back episodes, because just when I thought it was over, I had a feeling more episodes were going to come out. Sure enough, we had 2 bonus episodes, and it was just great. I enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Eric and Gabby are going to last? I think that is more promising than if they keep moving forward. I think they'll make it. I really, really do. Who knows? They might get married on Bachelor in Paradise. Who knows? But I think they'll make it. I think they'll make it. So I'm going to stick with it right there. But they have to keep moving forward. Check my video on engagement limbs. They have to keep moving forward. But I believe they're going to make it. I really do. I have a feeling. I think they're just really good for each other, actually. So my best to them. And I hope everyone else finds love, and I wish you well. And I know it took a while for me to come out with this, but I had the big day. So, that takes a lot out of you, and I'm still kind of recovering. But
in a good way.
So I'm just happy to be here with all of you back, and check out my reviews on coming up for Bachelor in Paradise, and we'll definitely speak soon. Okay. Mwah. Bye.
Thanks for listening, watching, and subscribing. And please, if you have not subscribed, please do so. Please like the video. Please leave your comments. Thanks.